I was giving an example of how you can grow up in an ideal scenario where you're not abused. You might have two good parents that you wasn't exposed to no abuse, and still carry yourself a certain way with your body. So even though I believe that's true what you said, but it's not always the case why women give their body up. Some women are just promiscuous, and some women are just like that.
I think that's where sometimes the problem lies, is that women are given examples and it's taken as by men seen as an excuse for, as opposed to an explanation of.
Okay, Shan, you good? Okay, what you reading? Scroll. Did you hear what Ella said? Did you hear what Ella said?
What are you talking about?
So did you hear what Ella said?
No, I didn't. Baby, I've been up since 5 o'clock teaching kids.
We all been up. I've been up since 5 too. We are. I don't
Okay,
care.
good night, y'all.
Y'all done ran her off. God damn it.
So y'all forget that this side is already 12 o'clock and we got to get up at 5 in the morning to be at work.
Me too.
At high school, so we have to be there by 6:45.
Earlier, you made a really, really good statement that I liked a lot, which was we're judging people based off of who they are after the trauma, but we have to like remember. So something about like remembering who they were, like, and where you came from before the trauma. And then you equated it to, it's like judging a child after the assault, right? So if you understand that and you could make that great comparison, then it should be super easy to understand why, when we look at it statistically, how many women have been assaulted and now they don't take sex seriously, but they still take their emotions seriously. So they will sleep with you and then be like, no, I don't trust you. I don't really know anything about you. Because that is what it is for most women in most cases.
I mean, I see what you're saying, but that by you saying that, you're saying that most women have been abused. I think a lot of women have, but I don't think most. I don't think that's every woman's experience. Some women can
No,
grow up
not
with great.
every.
No, some people grow up with great parents, and most of the most promiscuous women is not always the ones who didn't have the right parents. Sometimes it's always them
What does
preachers'
parents
kids.
have to do with?
No, I'm just what I'm because we're talking about. You brought up trauma, right? You
Yeah.
an example you brought up was she was the girl was abused. What I'm saying is I was giving an example of how you can grow up in an ideal scenario where you're not abused. You might have two good parents that you wasn't exposed to no abuse, and still carry yourself a certain way with your body. So even though I believe that's true what you said, but it's not always the case why women give their body up. Some women are just promiscuous, and some women are just like that. It's not just because they've been abused. Some of them just don't value their body, like some men don't value their body. Like it's not always an abuse thing. Like it's just bad decision making.
I'm not going to say that it's not bad decision making and that people just have a habit of not caring sometimes. But I mean, the number is 1 in 4. So that is a lot. It's 4 of us on here right now that are women. So that means at least one of us has to have been through some type of sexual assault, rape, or trauma, right? Well, damn. So, because I was going to be like,
75% of y'all? Shit.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's a
I
big
mean, what
number.
about the numbers of men who don't even talk about it? So you can't even assess what happens to men because that's not even spoken about. So what we're only
Right. So
assessing is
that's
the
where I'm
women
saying
that
that's
are
where
willing to
masculinity
talk.
comes from.
We're assessing the women that are willing to talk and willing to speak their piece to tell you what even happened. That's for one. For two, you're under assumption that everything they tell you about what happened to them is the truth. That's another category. Three, you don't even know what men go through or what amount of data that men have accumulated from them being abused by a male or a woman because it's not even spoken of. So to
Yeah, they
talk to
don't say it, so their numbers are high. So a lot of women don't even report. right? So the numbers that we currently have are actually even higher than that. And it's
Probably.
higher for guys too, because you're less
And that's
likely
a
to,
fact, but you see how the
yeah,
woman trauma was even taken, the man trauma wasn't even considered, is
considered.
what I'm saying. It's not even considered in the conversation. I had to interject it. I had to bring it to it.
It never is.
Well, but I think that that's what you're supposed to do.
Because men are
Like,
more likely
nobody was about to interject the point that I just made. I interjected it. If men want their trauma like to be talked, like it's like I'm not going to speak for men because I'm not a man, so I can't bring up your stuff. I'm bringing up what I think is relevant for the women's side. So the point of this conversation is for you to bring the same way that if people felt like we didn't talk enough about the Asian perspective, put an Asian person on here to talk about it, because I'm not going to preach for them.
But
Like,
you see
I
how
can
you
only
say
preach from
Asian
what I know.
person? You didn't say Asian male or female. And therein lies the problem. When it comes to other races, they speak on behalf of the people. When it comes to black people, they speak on women say, well, hey, I got to speak for women. And men say, hey, I got to speak for women. Men, that's the problem. We need to speak for people. It shouldn't matter what it is. Abuse is abuse. Mistreatment is mistreatment. Women should speak up for men, and men should speak up for women. Because women are always telling men to speak up. They say believe all women. That's something they speak to everybody. So they're telling everybody to listen to us. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is men and women should speak up for men and women. Wrong is wrong. It shouldn't be a gender thing. The responsibility should not be on individuals. And I think that's what's wrong with our people. We have this narcissistic view when it comes to talking. We need to speak on behalf of trauma, period. When it comes to men, it's just you should speak for men. But when it comes to women, we all should believe and we all should listen to women. We all should speak up for women.
But you notice even when women say that, like even if you read some of the comments, and a lot of times this is why women uh withhold, is because one, you're not believed, because they'll take the one or two women that lied, right? And then it impacts everybody else's story, right? Or just even, like how we've seen like women, twerking, but the majority of women aren't twerking, but those women are the ones that get highlighted. They're all women, right? So when women do speak up, like it'll say, oh look, they're actually here now. I ain't gonna even call them out, but like say that when she gave the example of, trauma happens and, it shows up in different ways, that some of the comments was like, okay, here we go with the excuses, right? But I think that's where sometimes the problem lies, is that women are given examples and is taken as by men seen as an excuse for, as opposed to an explanation of. So just like earlier when we were talking about men and their masculinity and over masculinity based on, when I brought up, well, historically, there's a reason for that, right? Everybody was on board with that. But then as a woman saying that, well, trauma and it could lead to this, the response is, nope, she's just a hoe. Some women are just hoes. Some women are just promiscuous. So you see how the difference in accepting
I,
explanations.
I see what you're trying to say, and I respect it. But I think as a whole, we can say for the most part in our lifetime, women and children's issues have been always dealt with a sensitivity in general. It was always that way. Women have always been dealt with kid gloves. Everybody had to know what's going on with women, more so than men. The problem is when women make these examples, not like tonight, because tonight she didn't do that. But I'm saying, and a lot of times when women point out examples of women getting mistreated, it's always an example of somebody who is a horrible example of that. They're always trying to use a celebrity female or cast or some woman who's using a salacious way to get paid as an example to validate their point instead of just some everyday life stuff. They just use the wrong examples to further their point. It'd be women that's out for money, or like, it's just, to me, the people they try to use to validate it, it's just always the worst example. But it does happen. Yeah, I agree. Most women I've met, they've told me that something happened to them. So I'm not disagreeing with that. But I think men do men dirty when they go to jail if they did something to a woman. They get dealt with like right away.
Okay, Shan, you good? Okay, what you reading? Scrolling. Did you hear what Ella said? Did you hear what Ella said?
What are you talking about?
I said, did you hear what Ella said?
No, I didn't.
Of course not.
Baby, I've been up since 5 o'clock teaching kids.
We
Okay.
all been up. I've been up since 5 too, sweetheart. I don't
Okay.
care
Good
though,
night,
if you
y'all.
heard me or not. I really don't care.
I was
I
just
gotta-
about night
I-
too. I gotta
I
get
would
up.
like to say something to that.
Y'all done ran her off. God damn it.
No, y'all forget
Hey,
that
man.
on this side it's already 12 o'clock, and we gotta get up at 5 in the morning to be at work.
Me too.
At high school, so we have to be there by 6:45.